Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to our webinar series on how CMMS helps drive operational excellence. We have shared with you our company video, and I would like to introduce to you, to everyone, myself. My name is Erwin Bernal. Thank you very much for joining us today. As you can see in our corporate video that we have been doing a lot of trainings, a consultation on various aspects of asset management, performance, as well as asset reliability and reliability engineering and integrity. We're very glad for the trust of our clients on our services, and we are also very grateful that you are here joining us today for our first leg of series of webinars onto our CMMS, who will be introduced later on our technology partner eMaint from Fluke. So I will not keep you, but I would like to just ask if you can confirm if you can hear us by giving us a thumbs up or saying hi, hello. Hello, everyone. Can we see a thumbs up if you're all here? Thank you, Michael. Thank you, Jefferson. I can see a few, Arturo, Miss Claudette, Clyde. All right. Now, the most important audio check of all, John. There you are.
Yes.
All right. Thank you, John. So let's get the ball rolling. I will ask Patricia, my colleague, who will introduce to you our speaker and facilitator for this afternoon. Go ahead, Patricia.
Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. So, welcome to the webinar of how CMMS helps drive operational excellence. Our speaker for today is Mr. John Tan from Fluke Reliability eMaint. He is a CMMS product expert and an ISO Category 2 certified vibration analysis and an asset reliability practitioner from Mobius Category 1. Right? So I won't drag us any longer. Sir John?
Yes.
Hi, Sir John. Um,
Hi, John. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. Thank you
Are
so
you
much
are you
for the
excited?
invitation. Yeah, I am. Thanks for all the participants as well for joining us for this afternoon.
Thank you,
And
John.
certainly, yeah. So I'm going to share my screen right now to see if it works. So let me know if you guys can see it.
Yep, I can see it.
All right, that's great. So let me just see this. Okay, so just to help to save the bandwidth, I'll be switching off my video. I will see you guys shortly later. But without further ado, just want to thank you once again, everybody, for your time in joining us for today's webinar. Before we start, let me just give a quick introduction of who I am and where I come from. So I'm from Fluke Reliability. So Fluke Reliability is a business unit of Fluke Corporation. And we know that Fluke Corporation is famous for our yellow color multimeters, thermal imagers, and other handheld tools and devices that we have sold widely in the market. But for our business unit, which is Fluke Reliability, this business unit focuses on providing a connected reliability solutions. So it is beyond just handheld devices of sales or product solution, but it's an incorporation of connected reliability solution. And how we offer this connected reliability solution is through these three main pillars that you see over here. So the first one will be eMaint, which is the main pillar or main topic for today. And then the second one will be Proof Technique, and the third one will be Fluke Connect. So let's have a look on how these three pillars do and does. So there are many details. I'm just going to give everybody a very quick summary of what this three pillar does. So for eMaint, this is our software branch related to CMMS and EAM. So this is where my product focus is at. eMaint is a SaaS CMMS, where we are in the market for more than 35 years already. And it is a SaaS means that the instance of the CMMS is running in the cloud. So we are also ISO 27001 certified. So this addresses any security concerns that you might have regarding to software running in the cloud as a SaaS. The second pillar, Proof Technique, is a pillar focusing on condition monitoring as well as laser alignment solutions. So over this branch, we have a lot of deep domain knowledge expertise. We have very skilled engineers as well who can go down to the site, right, to the field, to the industrial sites, and carry out corrective actions on the machineries, such as alignment, balancing, structure testings, etc. And they are also in charge of remote services, such as remote condition monitoring, as well as training services. Well, the third pillar under Fluke Reliability is Fluke Connect, where this branch focuses on the integration part of the business, where they are able to have solutions to integrate hardware to software, as well as connection from software to other third-party software as well. We also provide a range of wireless sensors solution under the Fluke Connect branch. So together, Fluke Reliability seeks to be a partner to the market in providing a connected reliability solution. So, well, that's the introduction of myself and the company that I come from. And for today's webinar, I'm going to touch on the agenda, right? So for the agenda, we're going to begin first with an introduction to what CMMS is. And then we're going to transit over to 10 ways how a CMMS will help to drive operational excellence. So 10 ways, if you see, the running numbers, you see item number 10, then you know that that's the time where we'll go into a short, period of case studies with our customers who have achieved CMMS success through using our solution. And then last but not least, we're going to go to a period of quiz and prizes. All right. So, here's a sharing on the quiz and the prizes that we have. And there will be a total of 5 winners, all right, for today's quiz. So we've got about 20 participants for today. So quite a good chance for you guys to walk away in today's webinar session with a prize. So we're going to have a total of 5 winners, and it will be a selection, either a polo tee, right? It's either a polo tee or an Under Armour t-shirt, right? So you can wear this for your jog or exercises that you want. And if there's any female within our midst, don't worry. We do provide female, cutting polo tee as well as Under Armour t-shirt for you as well. Okay, so we're going to do a quick trial quiz right now. All right, so this will help you to understand how the quiz will be carried out later. So it will be multiple choice. Everybody have a chance, right, to key in your answer. And all you need to do is very simple. You're going to key in your answer either A, B, C, or D. All right. And the winner is the fastest one who posts in the chat with the correct answer. That will be the winner for the quiz. And we're going to have a total of 5 questions. So the fastest one that keys in the correct answer into the chat box will be the winner for the quiz. So right now, we are just going to run a trial. All right, this is just for you to practice your typing skill and making sure that you can find your chat box in the quiz section later. All right, so without further ado, this is a trial quiz. Everybody get on board on your keyboards. Find the chat button. If you're using a mobile device, you can find it too as well. The moment I flash the answer, all right, it is free to go. So I'm going to count down in 3, 2, 1. What is one thing that you should take along with you to a desert island? So these are the options. All right. Don't come up with your own answer. You have to choose A, B, C, or D. And obviously, there will only be one that has the correct answer. You don't have to type out the whole word sunblock, right? You can just type down the letter itself. Thank you so much for all the participations of people who are, dropping in the answer. Okay, so, well, there isn't really a fully correct answer for this case, but I would say that one thing that is most practical, is actually to have a fishing net, right? So that you can fish for food in case you are stuck in an island. So for this example, right, on my screen, when we see, or in my team's screen together with Erudite, the first correct answer, if the correct answer was B, the first person with the correct answer on my screen, it should be Jefferson. I'm not sure. Patricia, is that Jefferson that you see as well? Who is the first person with the answer B on your side?
Yes, sir. Sir Jefferson Gonzalez.
That's right. So Jefferson, if this was a real quiz, you would have walked yourself away with, either a Fluke Plurality or an Under Armour shirt, right? It's an either or. We have sizes all the way from S to XXL, XL available as well, right? And if at the end of the quiz, so please make sure that you have keyed in correct details when you register for the webinar. But if not, please approach Patricia, who will be very gladly to take down the correct details so that we can find out your mailing address. We will mail this off to you, as well as the size and the type of, either the Plurality or the Under Armour shirt that you would like for your prize. All right. So Jefferson, hopefully in the actual quiz, you will win it as well. And yeah, we are people saying that the quiz was a difficult one. Yeah, so I think the quiz later might be more difficult as well. So it requires your full attention and participation as well. In answering the quiz. So beyond just answering the quiz, I would also like to encourage all the participants to make full use of the chat function in the case that you have any questions, right? Any questions at all, related to the presentation topic or related to Fluke or Erudite, just feel free to use the chat function. We will have a Q&A section at the end of the presentation, and we will try to answer them during this webinar. If not, we will just take it offline and connect with you by email as well. All right, so without further ado, let's go on to the first section, the introduction of CMMS. So first, let's go with the definition. So what is a CMMS? So CMMS is a computerized maintenance management system. So what are some of the features in the CMMS? Well, it is a software designed to help schedule and to track maintenance side of the business. So what are we maintaining? Well, it belongs to assets of the customer, of the company. Anything that requires, the company to spend money on, it can be a machine, it can be things that are important to the organization, even simple things like a light bulb, right? Could be an asset. And if the light bulb is critical enough for you to make sure that it has to be operating 24/7, then to ensure that reliability portion, you can use a CMMS to achieve that. So other features of a CMMS is that it is usually centralizing all the maintenance information, facilities, processes, and it also has the capability to automate tasks in order to improve the efficiency of it. So the improvement of the efficiency, includes the optimize of the use, availability, lifespans of equipments, and not just equipments, assets such as machineries, fleets related to vehicles, infrastructures, facilities, as well as operation. So the CMMS will help you to manage all these assets, work order requests, as well as the spare parts inventory. This slide will provide you a good overview and understanding of the workflow happening within a CMMS. So the three main core of a CMMS, firstly, is assets management, where during the assets, you would have a list of all the assets in your organization that you want to keep track on the maintenance, and that maintenance instruction could be passed around by using work orders. So work order is like a document or information that is passed on from the engineers to the managers to the technician, as well as to the operators and any other people in the organization that will be required to be involved in the maintenance process. And the third core of the CMMS is the relation of parts. So when we talk about parts, it is related to maintenance part. When we are carrying out maintenance, sometimes or most of the time, you will require to use parts. For example, like filters, your oil filters. It could be your lubricants, right? For your bearings, for example. If you're using rotating machinery, it could be a coupling, right? So coupling was broken, you require a change of it. So that is where we classify that as a parts in the inventory. So one of the most key important driver, or rather we ran a poll to understand from the customers, what is the most important driver when they are implementing or seeking a CMMS. So you can see over here, majority of it is related to increasing the overall efficiency. All right. And of course, you can see that other factors, the second one will be to increase the visibility and accountability of the maintenance or engineering workforce. Third one goes to streamline and automate workflow. So moving away from manual processes to make it automate through software. And then the fourth one will be related to capturing maintenance cost. So cost related to maintenance helps to make a business decision whether or not we should continue to maintain a machine, or it could be a time that we need to buy a new one, right? So similar, some assets, that is very close to your daily application could be a car that you own. So if a car often breaks down, right? Usually a good car could break down once every few years, but if your car is breaking down every month and it's costing you a lot of cost to send to the workshop, then maybe at this point, it might make sense to buy a new car instead of continuously sending it for maintenance. So last but not least, one of the factors as well is related to regulatory compliances. So you can see that, well, here are some of the factors of why people choose of it. Some of these will be covered as well, as they belong to one of the many 10 ways of how a CMMS can drive operational excellence. So we're going to count down all the way from 1 to 10, okay, and understand how are the different ways that can help to drive operational excellence through a CMMS. So let's start with number 1. But the first way will be that CMMS helps to extend the life of the asset. When the customer or when we buy an asset, we definitely want the asset to work as long as possible. Well, the longer that it works and the more creation of the value of it, then it will say that, well, this machine has achieved my ROI and return of investment, and it's definitely worth, to invest in this machine. So the longer that we can extend, the better value or revenue that we can generate through the specific asset. So how this CMMS can help to extend the life of an asset is through the following. The first one is it can help to prevent the asset from incurring unnecessary damages or unnecessary wear that could be caused by the following. Firstly, a delay of a maintenance work. So a classic example, right, is a machine that we know that was operating at good level, and then suddenly one day you realize that, hey, there's a vibration strong enough or big enough for you to observe that, hey, the machine is shaking, and then it sometimes even goes to the point of creating loud sounds. So when such thing happen within the machine, there is already happening damages and wear causing within the machine itself. And if you do not solve this problem, what happens is that the damage, right, will be starting an exponential effect. So if left unattended, the machine is actually suffering from unnecessary damage and wear, which will cause a premature breakdown, right, or a shortening of the lifetime of the asset. Well, the second part is a wrong use of tools. Okay, so if improper tools are used during the maintenance of your machine, this can also cause damage to your machineries as well. The third one is related to the work process and procedures being carried out. So not only using the correct tool, you have to follow certain work and procedures, and some of it will be recommended by the OEM of the machineries. When they created it, they should or would have written a manual on how to use the machine as well as how to maintain it. All right. So for me myself, I'm guilty when I'm using like my household appliances. I don't usually read the manuals, right? I just take it out and then use it based on my own intuition on how to do it. And more often or not, right, I will realize that, hey, my device fails much more earlier than I expected it. So when I was angry and then I tried to read the warranty, etc., and then there, in the manual, it was stated very carefully, like for example, my shaver, etc. I should not soak it in water, right? For example, or I should clean it once every month with a brush, right? For my electrical shaver, in order to not let the particles get into the critical parts of the machine. So procedures in this sense is very important as well. And other ways that could help to, the CMMS can help to extend the lifetime of a machine is to ensure prompt action being carried out when the machine is under stress or showing signs of failure. So this could be done by using the CMMS to quickly find the work history. So when we look at the work history, we can have a very good understanding of what happened to the machine. All right. And for example, if something happened and then we check the work history, we related this to, for example, an alignment job that was done by a vendor. And the alignment job in this case could be the first suspect that it was not done properly, causing the machine right now to be vibrating higher than usual. If the machine is under a warranty, then sometimes maintenance action do not need to be carried out by the internal team. This will then be needed to be carried out or to be brought into attention by the OEM, right? Or the person that you buy the machine from. So some of the challenges faced is, in a plant, in a site, there are hundreds, if not thousands of machineries, and not all the warranty information or contact of the service provider could be found easily. So, rather than spending a lot of time going through emails of a staff that could probably bought the machine but left the organization, and searching Google, finding the network distributorship and service provider of the machineries, if we would have stored it much earlier during the installation phase in the CMMS, this critical warranty information can be quickly found and the machine will have the action applied, maintenance action applied to them promptly as well. Well, the third part is the instant recognition of spare parts required for an asset. So I gave the example of filters, right? So when we look at filters, there are hundreds, if not thousands as well, of different types of filters that you can use for different machine application. But not all of them is good, right? Not all of them contains the correct specification required for your machinery. So by using a CMMS, it also helps you to list out all the related spare parts to the assets, such that when you need to do the maintenance job, you can easily identify the correct spare parts. So very good. We have finished our first, way of how CMMS drive operational excellence. We're going to move on to point number 2, where point number 2 is that the CMMS helps to prevent breakdowns. And in this case, unplanned breakdowns, right, of the machineries. So when we look at maintenance, there is a rough classification of 4 main types of strategy. So some of it could have more. Some people will say 6 types, etc. Yeah, but today we're just going to say that, well, there are 4 main types, and they are corrective maintenance, preventive maintenance, predictive maintenance, and lastly, proactive maintenance. So I'm going to quickly go through with you what is the difference between these 4 types of maintenance, starting with corrective maintenance. Well, a corrective maintenance simply means you only carry out the maintenance job after a failure has occurred. A common item that we can relate to on how we apply corrective or reactive maintenance is my house fan, right? If you have a fan at home, you don't usually maintain it, right? Maybe besides cleaning the dust or dirt out of it once every few months, but in general, you don't really maintain it, okay? And what will happen is I'll just keep running the fan, running. Sometimes they make loud noises, etc. I don't really care, right? I'm just good. Well, the wind is still blowing. It has more sound. I can sleep in the night with the sound. That's fine, but I will not do anything to it until it spoils. It breaks down, and when it breaks down, what happens is, well, I will just pretty much buy another one, right? Another this fan to replace. So when is a good time to apply a corrective maintenance? Well, firstly, is that the machine itself is not that critical, right? So if my fan is down, it's fine, you know, I still have my air condition, right? I still have like natural air that I can open the window. It will affect my sleep, my life a little bit, but it's not so critical, right? So it's okay to do a corrective maintenance or breakdown maintenance. Secondly, what makes a good reason to carry out a breakdown maintenance is if the asset itself is cheap and easily replaceable, which is in this case of the fan, right? We can easily buy a fan in a store, all right? And it is available. There is always existing stock that we can just buy and replace. So this is, you know, the type of machineries that we use with relation to corrective and reactive maintenance. Well, the second maintenance strategy is related to preventive maintenance, where maintenance is done based on established of a calendar interval or a meter interval. Well, the best relation that we can have this is once again a car example. So when car once every 6 months, for example, or when it reaches certain mileage, that is when we need to send it to the workshop for maintenance, to change your oil, to change your filter, to check your coolant, you know, to check your tire pressure, etc. So this type of maintenance is good. It is usually recommended by the OEMs, right? By the original equipment manufacturers, where they will give you a time period and then you need to send it down for a certain level of maintenance. So there is a pro and a con when using the maintenance. I'm going to use the example of oil filter, all right? So if an oil filter, all right, has the capability to last for 6 months in average, right? That's good because every 6 months, I know that the oil filter has reached its end of its lifespan. So therefore I change it. That is good for the car. But what if the oil filter, right, has the capability to last more than 6 months? It can actually last for 9 months. But because of predictive maintenance, I actually change it at the 6 months, and therefore I lose cost, right? I lose a further usage of the oil filter for an additional 3 months. So I lose cost by using preventive maintenance. And another con is, what if, right? What if my oil filter was under heavy usage, or during installation, it was not being put properly, and its maximum capability or effectiveness is only 2 months, for example. So you see that, you know, my oil filter is already not working well on the 2nd month, but because of my maintenance interval is 6 months, I subjected my car or my machine to go through 4 months, right, of improper operation, right, or causing my machine to face micro level of damages. And this will bring down the reliability as well. So you can see that as we move on from corrective to preventive, right, to predictive, and lastly proactive, we increase the reliability as we go about that, and it also helps to reduce the cost. So next one, predictive maintenance. What does it mean? Well, predictive maintenance is the fact that we carry out the maintenance not based on calendar, not based on meter, but based on the actual condition of the machine. So this condition that we are talking about is, you know, the condition monitoring that we are doing. So it could be things like your vibration, temperature, ultrasound, power, right, or electrical related fields like your voltage, current, power. And lastly, this is got to do with oil quality monitoring as well, right? So predictive is based on data, what you measure. If it's good, we let it carry on, right? If the data is telling us bad, that is when we do the maintenance. So it could be more than 6 months later or less than 6 months later as well. Last but not least, we're going to look at the last level of maintenance, which is known as proactive maintenance. So proactive maintenance means addressing underlying conditions before they develop and lead to failure. So when applying proactive maintenance, it requires, quite a bit of expertise in terms of studying data, running data analytics, right? To look at very small level, micro level of underlying conditions. This could be root cause to cause a high vibration, and we will address it right from the start. So an analogy, an example that I will give to you is that proactive maintenance is like eating vitamin C's for all of us. Your body is well, is running good. You do not need to see the doctor, but you eat vitamin C, right? As a form to proactively build up a stronger body, right? Build up your antibodies, your immunity system, so that you'll be able to live a longer life and prevent any breakdowns in your body system. Okay, so that's all for point number 2. The CMMS, all right, can help you to apply all 4 different types of maintenance strategy at one go. So applying which maintenance strategy depends very much on your assets, based on the criticality, based on the cost, based on the function, and a good CMMS will have the capability to help you to apply all 4 strategies on different machineries and assets. We're going to move on right now to point number 3, the third point, right, of how CMMS drive operational excellence is that a CMMS helps to reduce maintenance cost. And how is this done? Well, firstly, it will reduce the time required for your data entry. Secondly, it maximizes your labor resources through better planning and scheduling. The third point is that the CMMS can reduce expedited shipping costs through better coordination of part availability. So within a CMMS system, one of the core is parts management, as mentioned. So when using the parts, whenever you are using a task, most of the users, they do not track what are the actual parts being used, right? So they will just really go by estimation, saying that, well, I used this before, so I will just order this amount, etc. But most of the time, when something urgent, like a breakdown, unexpected a breakdown happen, then they will realize that, oh, we do not have the necessary part to do the maintenance work, and therefore they have to request for expedited shipping from the OEM, right, or from the spare part manufacturers. And surely at those times where you are urgently in need, right, I'm sure the price, of the spare parts that you're going to purchase is not going to be that cheap as well, because they know that you need it, right? So there is a high possibility that you will get all these spare parts at a higher rate with a higher shipping cost as well. Well, by having or making use the inventory management portion of a CMMS, you can also reduce the number of spare parts that you have, right? So you keep yourself having a lean inventory and not spending too much on the holding cost of your spare parts. One last thing, which I mentioned as well, is that the data from the CMMS can help you to improve and return by gaining insights, right? Improve the returns by gaining insights whether or not to repair or to replace a machinery. So at this point, I would like to go into a time of demonstration. So within my presentation, I'll be interjecting a few portions where I'll be showing you a demonstration on certain things. So right now, I'm going to show you a demonstration of how a CMMS from Fluke looks like and how is the assets record being displayed, followed by a ROI calculator. So when we are using a CMMS or making a decision to implement a CMMS, what are some of the factors that we take into consideration, and how also we have this tool that we use, the ROI calculator, to help to justify and understand what is the savings or the ROI involved when implementing a CMMS. So right now I'm going to change my screen, okay, to my Chrome browser. So this is my Chrome browser. Okay, I hope everybody can see it. So in this is a CMMS from Fluke, right? In the CMMS systems, one of the things that we do, okay, is to log in first, right? So let me just log in to my instance. One of the core component is assets. All the machines that require maintenance, we will store them under assets. And you can see over here, I have a list of assets, right? So ranging from a tool to a welder, to a mold, condenser unit, we have the AHU unit, HVAC unit, a generator set, fire extinguisher, etc. So the assets can be displayed in a table format, pretty much like what you see on an Excel sheet, but this is much more flexible than Excel. Why do I say so? Well, firstly, you can see that if I don't like the field of serial number to be over here at this column, I would like to change it to somewhere else. All you need to do is to simply click, drag, and drop. All right, so I can arrange the way I want to see my assets fairly quickly, fairly easily. If I do not like to see this in a table format, I could quickly change it into a card format as well. So I click on here. Okay, hold up. Let me see what's happening. Not sure why I kind of click this. Okay, I can go to a card format, but you can see this is a different view, right? As compared to a table. So the card format shows you the most important data in a box format so that you can have a better overview and glance of all your machineries and assets. In some cases, which is very important as well, is the capability to build a hierarchy view of your machineries and assets. So in this case, for example, we have the Explorer view. So in this Explorer view, I have built it in a hierarchy. The highest hierarchy is based on the site location, followed by the assets building, and then lastly, the asset type. So based on that, firstly, we have the site locations. You can see here's a number of locations. This is based in, somewhere in the world, right? So site location, if I open it up, you'll see the number of buildings. So in this case, I have 3 buildings, exterior, main, and utility. And then if I extend further from the building, you will be able to see the machine types. So for example, if I click on HVAC, a machine type based on a building, utility building in Cedar Falls site location, then the machineries related to it will be displayed. If I want to see all within the building, I just click on utility. I will see all the machines within the building. If I want to see all from the site, I just click on Cedar Falls, and I'll be able to see all the machines within the specific site. So that's just a simple demonstration of how asset views, right? And how an asset is usually being managed within the organization. So if you click into any one of the specific asset, for example, then you will see it contains information about the machine, the OEM information, right, etc. So now we're going to move to the next portion of showing you in terms of demo is calculation of ROI. So over here, I have an ROI dashboard where I can build something out of it. So when we look at the ROI, one of the first things that we do is to understand things from the labor and productivity, followed by parts and inventory, and then the downtime. So these 3 factors are the main areas of where your cost saving can come about when implementing a CMMS. So within labor and productivity itself, all right, we will be looking at the reduction of data entry for maintenance employee. So this is something that we realize that a lot of plants are spending a lot of time and manpower doing that. But with a CMMS, for example, we might be able, or we will be able to save, for example, 5 hours of data entry time per week. So it's about a saving of 1 hour per day. Okay, so this saving of 1 hour per day, right? So the great fields are ones that is automatically calculated based on our entry over here. Okay, and you can see that an average hour of maintenance, hourly rate for maintenance, right? So for example, a worker costs 10 hours, $10 per hour. You would then have a calculation of a total saving of $2,600 of annual saving in this case. So $2,600 is only for reduction of data entry. So we have other fields such as maximizing labor in terms of time spent on unplanned maintenance, right? We can look at other things like assembling a report, maintenance due to time saving. From the parts and inventory, we can see how spare parts, locating the spare parts could be reduced, reducing unnecessary spare parts, cost of expediting shipment, and lastly, in terms of downtime, what is the cost of revenue lost when an unplanned downtime happens, and then a reduction of time for the staff to stay ideal. So in view of all this, okay, one feature that I really like in this calculator is, for example, I've given you 5 hours, right, every week, and the cost of labor is $10 per hour. So for example, if the claim or the decision to put 5 hours is something that I'm actually not so confident, I don't know whether or not do we really spend or save 5 hours from the CMMS, right? So this is where in the calculator system itself, we have this thing called the conservation factor. So conservation factor is pretty much linked to the confidence level that you have of the data that you have given in. So maybe in this case, my data over here is really based on my assumption, right? Of my assumption and conversation with one maintenance employee. So I'm not really confident that this data is correct. So you can say that, well, I'm only 50% sure, that this data is correct. So we have this conservation factor that we can use, and this will bring down the saving. Instead of 2006, we can see that the actual saving right now is only 1,300 because I'm only 50% sure, right? So we have this kind of functionalities in the calculator, to do a final summary or final calculation of an ROI period that it takes for implementing a CMMS system. So I have built up a report. Now I'm going to change my screen sharing to this report that I've built beforehand. Okay. All right. So this is ROI study that we are doing at the moment. So you can see that in this report, we have exported this out into a PDF report. And you can see that, well, the 3-year ROI is that you will have a surplus of $200,000, right? That's the first. And the cost saving from labor is 2008, from parts and inventory is 31,000, and from downtime, unplanned downtime is $500,000, right? So from here, you can see that most of the cost saving in the organization comes from unplanned downtime, reducing or eliminating unplanned downtime, which affects directly to the revenue generated by the manufacturing companies or any other companies as well. Okay, so further down, we are looking at labor and productivity. All right, you can see that in this study, not all the fields that we have stated, for example, in terms of maximizing labor or time spent report, these fields could be irrelevant to your study, and it's okay to put them as 0 as well, right? So you can say that, oh, I think that my CMMS can only do specific saving on the data entry. Or in this case, part saving, right? Spend looking for the parts, unneeded spare, it's okay to leave them at 0 as well. and lastly, in terms of downtime. So the final production, you can have a table as well to look at your cost savings, right? This 3 portion is telling you the cost savings over 3 years. And this is the cost of, maintaining or starting up a CMMS system. And then the last portion will be the ROI analysis. How much of us will be gained back, after implementing a period of 3 years. Okay, so now I'm going to change my screen sharing back to the slide that we have. So this will give us a demonstration and understanding of how a CMMS look like in terms of its asset management, as well as an ROI study that could be done to justify, whether or not it makes sense to implement a CMMS system in your plant. Moving on from here, we are going on to point number 4, right? So point number 10, that's when we will have a break for Q&A, and then we will have a quiz section, right? So for those of us who have just joined us in this webinar, welcome. And we are now, counting down to number 10. We are looking at 10 ways on how a CMMS can help you to achieve operational excellence. And at the end of this, we're going to have a quiz where we will have 5 winners, and each winner will have a choice between a polo tee or an Under Armour t-shirt, all right, with various sizes available for you, men cuttings and ladies cutting as well. So please stay tuned, join us all the way to the quiz, and hopefully you'll be the lucky one to walk away with the attractive prizes. So now looking at point number 4, point number 4 tells us that a CMMS helps us to track and enable us to carry out the defect elimination study. So the goal of defect elimination, right, is to achieve 0 defects. So this is in a very ideal situation. Of course, in real practical ways, we will not be able to, achieve 0, but with CMMS, we could achieve as close to 0 as possible, right, as the machines and the operation allows. So these defects includes your basic defects, operational defects, maintenance defects, design defects, etc. And how this is being done is that we leverage on the CMMS capability to build a comprehensive hierarchy of assets and location. So if you know the tools used, right, in terms of defect elimination, then you will know that having a good understanding of the hierarchy, assets, location, and class is very important when carrying out the reliability study of defect elimination. So other things related is specific work order type, failure, and criticality code. All right, so every failure that happens, there will be a code linked to it. So such information allows us to do things like the Pareto analysis, right? It allows us to do like the fishbone analysis or the tree or the 5 whys. All of these are important. And the CMMS, what it does is that it helps to streamline this information so that when you need them to use the tools, you have it offhand. You can do it as quickly as possible. Well, the last portion on how we can eliminate the defect elimination is in terms of reports. A CMMS can help you to build reports, right? And once you have the template, they can auto-generate all this report on a monthly or yearly basis to identify the bad actors, help you to calculate your maintenance or reliability KPI, such as your MTBF, which stands for mean time before failure, your MTTR, which stands for mean time to repair, and then OEE, which is your overall equipment efficiency as well. So that concludes point number 4. We are at our halfway mark over here. The 5th point of how CMMS helps to achieve operational excellence is that the CMMS provides customer satisfaction. So how it does that is the CMMS is a platform itself that will help to improve the engagement with the customer. So how it does is, firstly, they will have the capability to be notified on the status of the customer's work request. And this could be done by customized email. So the CMMS platform has the capability to automate certain processes, such as if there's a change in the status or if there's something that is being alerted regarding the machine, a customer will receive an email to be notified about it. So a CMMS usually have the capability to have a mobile application as well. So in Fluke, our mobile application is called Fluke Mobile. You can see that download available in the Play Store as well as in Google Play. So route requests to designated individuals for approval. All right. So this is very customized approach. When we need something from a specific customer, it goes to them directly, as compared to not having a process, right, to route to the correct person for the right approvals. Another thing of customer engagement is the ability to set up surveys for the customers. So in this case, customer will be able to feedback, for example, the previous work order, right, that has been managed. Was it a good experience or was it a bad experience? And these surveys could be taken into considerations in order to achieve a continuous improvement. Another way that the CMMS can help to increase or improve the customer satisfaction is by boosting the customer's confidence on the maintenance program and workflow. So if you're not using a CMMS to run your maintenance program, then usually you will be likely using an Excel spreadsheet, right, to run your maintenance program. So one of the things that I find not so useful by using spreadsheet, right, firstly is that a spreadsheet usually don't allow multiple user access. It only allows you one user at a time, right? And then this also gives rise to a lot of problems, right? So for example, if I need to urgently request for a work or to change a work order information in the CMMS or in the spreadsheet, then I realize that, oh, another user is using it. So such delay discourage people, right, from using the spreadsheet properly or to keep the information within the spreadsheet correctly and updated in this case. And of course, the CMMS is a software. It is a very dynamic capability. So it is able to handle complex functions of the maintenance workflow much more better compared to a spreadsheet. So we are moving on to point number 6. How CMMS can help to drive operation excellence is the capability to increase the work completion. So you can be surprised, right? I thought that every work that is given out to the technician, it should be completed. But well, it is not always the case. The reason is because most of the machines are running on preventive maintenance and there are work orders generated. A lot of work orders that are being generated every month, right? And not all the time, all these work, are being tracked or traced to be completed. So for example, if there's something major, right? A breakdown has happened in a very critical machines. Maybe all the resource within the engineering team was spent in that week or in that month to carry out the specific machinery and assets. So after the problem is solved, everyone is very tired, right? Oh, they need a break, some probably go on medical leave or something like that, right? So the work that is required, for example, to be done in the month of September, they were not being carried out. And when the next month comes, the month of October, right, a new set of work orders related to PM will then be created. So it is very easy for the technician to overlook into some of these tasks and just focus on the October ones and totally forget about the September. And this is extremely easy, especially when you do not have a system or software to track properly and to verify that when a work is declared to be done, it is actually 100% being carried out as well. So this is something that a CMMS can provide. And how else can the CMMS help to increase the work completion is firstly, an automation of the work scheduling. So when you're scheduling a work, right, there is a lot of factors to be taken into consideration. So firstly, the type of workers that you have is one. The shift, right, or the different calendar schedule that the workers are working on is the second one. And thirdly, right, is the availability as well. When do you know which worker is available to carry out which work order? So all of this could be made easier, right? Or even automated by using a CMMS platform. A CMMS platform also records and tracks all the PMs and non-PMs work orders so that if anyone is being missed out, right, we can set notifications, reminders, or alerts, and also track any work orders, right, that is being postponed or delayed above certain set interval that would raise a red flag to the maintenance team. So a CMMS also helps to clearly define all the labels, tools, parts, and materials required. This will bring about greater efficiency on the workflow for the workers. And this is an interesting one, right? So usually work order, you can relate to, well, one person, one job at one point of time. But CMMS, as mentioned, is able to handle complexity. So this allows you to assign multiple employees to do multiple jobs just within a single work order. So the assigned work order also able to be, you can assign it to projects, specific projects, for example, like an overhaul project or an expansion project, etc. And the history of it can be viewed. So when it comes to project, we can always have a review, right? A weekly review or a monthly review to have a very good vision and understanding on where you stand in terms of completion of the project. And the next portion is in terms of the dashboard, right? So a dashboard and reports helps to bring the team together, right? And as mentioned, it will help you to move towards the target that you have set for your maintenance and engineering team. So I've mentioned about, using a mobile phone, right? And where you can have a notification. So what you see over here, okay, is my mobile phone, right? So when you receive a work order from the mobile app, you can see that there is a pop-up that happens, right? To inform you that, well, there's something happening in your machine. So please go ahead, to attend to it. So this notification will be, is available. Oops, okay, I'm so sorry. This happened before a few times, mainly because of the video that I put here. So my PowerPoint is hanged. Please give me some time to restart this. All right, I'll be back shortly. Let me just close the program. There's some bug happening on the PowerPoint.
John, while you're restarting your presentation, I would like to ask, so this mobile application from Fluke eMaint is available in iOS and Android?
Yes, it is available both in iOS as well as in Android. Yeah.
Great. And
that's right.
Does it need to have a strong internet connection for you to access the system or whatnot?
Yeah, that's a very good point. So I have my PowerPoint slide already set up. Let me just share my screen again so that I can show everybody what's happening on the slide.
Great, thank you.
So Erwin's question for us is what happens when you are using a mobile app and then there is low connection or even no connections? So when there is no internet connection or low internet connection, what happens is that the mobile app is able to track, right? Is able to track all the changes that you have made during the offline mode. So after the phone receives back the internet connection, then it will update or sync the information that it was not able to do during offline mode once the internet connection was established. Okay, so over here you can see that the notification will also appear halfway through when you're using other applications. So in this case, I was using my WhatsApp. All right, I was telling my friends to sign a petition, to change the this rapper name in the States. His name was 50 Cents. So he needs to change his name to 250. Yeah, because of all the inflation that is happening around the whole world. Yeah. And while doing that, yeah, I still could have a work order assigned to me. So mobile applications, right, can be tracked on the past notifications. For example, maybe you missed it, right? You missed it during the instant that it popped up. We can visit the history of your notification list, and you can click on it as well to bring you to the Fluke mobile app, okay, to view the details related to this mobile application. Okay, I'm going to move on now to point number 7. We are reaching number 10. And after 10, we're going to have a time of quiz. So I hope that you guys have been paying attention, right? So that in the quiz section, if you answer correctly and you are the first person to give the correct answer, that will give you the winning prize, right? Of either a polo t-shirt or an Under Armour t-shirt, right? Available in many sizes for both the male and female cutting as well. So the 7th point of how a CMMS can help to increase operational excellence is its capability to increase visibility and transparency. So a CMMS stores and displays information related to equipment's performance, work order completion rate, type of work, and other key metrics in the fields as well. So this information is easily accessible by the various stakeholders within the company, from your maintenance team to your operators, to your executive or even management level. And if you were to use the CMMS in a SaaS, right, a software as a service environment, this would further increase the data transparency and availability, to the team, right? So I'm going to quote one of our customer over here. So they used our CMMS, and he said, that the eMaint CMMS has really opened our eyes to what is being done on a daily basis within our production plant. So Robert over here is from a pure fishing company production plant, right? So in the past, they do not used to have a CMMS or to track, and now they have it, right? So he described this. It's kind of like being born blind, and then suddenly, you are able to see a much better picture, a much better measure of the condition of your plant, and also having much more information that could guide you to further improve how you do your work within the organization as well. All right, so that's point number 7, increasing visibility and transparency. We're going to jump over right now to point number 8. So are you feeling stressed, by meeting the demands of your compliance auditor, right? Especially if you are in certain industries such as pharmaceutical, right? Or for example, you could be in the automotive or any other industries, right, that have strict regulatory compliances. Well, a CMMS in this case can help you to meet this regulatory standard and to make this process a much easier one. So how this is done is that the following features related to documentation procedures, tracking your spare parts and inventory, tracking your labor and hours spent, generating reports, not just any reports, but reports in a format that closely relates to the auditor, right? To a point that when they see the reports, it's a quick glance and a quick understanding on whether or not you comply to this or auditing visits, right? As well as dashboards and tracking of work requests and tracking of calibration. So you see, there's a lot of tracking required, right? When meeting the regulatory standards. So, a CMMS will have the capability, an extensive capability to help meet all those different regulatory compliances. So I'm going to give one example related to the GMP compliance, right? This is related to the 21 CFR Part 11 and Udralex. So if you are in the pharmaceutical, you will know. And well, if we compare to all the industry, right, nothing is as strict as pharmaceutical plant, right? So because they are manufacturing drugs, and if there's anything that goes wrong, people who consume them, will have life danger, right? Or it can cause, I don't know, maybe a new pandemic or a zombie apocalypse. I'm not sure. Yeah. So this is the part on sharing that in terms of the pharmaceutical industry, they have a specific compliance related to this 21 CFR. And how do we approach this compliance is, firstly, we have built, right, a workflow, or in this case, the eMaint CMMS have built a workflow to guide the customers through the steps required to achieve computer system validation. So this is a topic related to quality assurance, not just in an end product of the pharmaceutical, but with relation to a software. So software itself, using a software itself is also subjected to auditing, right? In this case, we have built up a methodology, right? A system to ensure that the auditing of the software is done properly and easily. So here are some details. For example, a software that is compliant needs to have an audit trail. So an audit trail provides evidence in terms of the record management, right? So if you are changing something, if you're updating something, if you are deleting something, right? If you're adding something, all of it will be tracked. A timestamp, the person's name, and what was being done, right, will all be included under the audit trail. And this audit trail can be easily exported into a document, for example, like an Excel sheet or Word document, to be stored and to be studied by the auditors. Here's another compliance requirement with relations to the authorities, is that organization must adopt sound business practices by ensuring signatures to be accurate, reliable, confidential, authentic, trustworthy, and equal to paper handwritten signature, right? So you can see we provide capabilities related to e-signatures, and whenever certain important change is to be made, it will then ask you to re-enter, right, your password and credentials, providing the compliance required from the regulatory bodies. All right, we are slowly inching towards the end. That's point number 9. All right, so point number 9 of how CMMS can help to achieve operational excellence is that it increases the workers' accountability. So the CMMS help us to gain a better understanding of the technicians' day-to-day activities. So they can experience that because tracking was being done by their productivity based on the materials usage, based on the reports and the dashboard. And this accountability level goes beyond your internal team. It also can be extended to external contractors, right? Maybe some of your work is being done, your external contractors, they can also be using the CMMS, and you can use the CMMS to gain visibility on their work completion, right? And you can use that data as well to track, whether or not this contractor is underperforming, overperforming, and whether or not, they are meeting the needs of your organization in terms of compliance and as well as quality of work. And finally, we have come to point number 10, right? That is the last point of how a CMMS can help you to drive operational excellence. This is something that is a bit more noble, right? Is that we can save the environment, right? And money as well by going paperless. Okay, so in many organizations, how they run their maintenance is that they are still using a lot of hard copies, right? A lot of filing is being required. So I remember bring papers and documents down on site, and then when it rains, right, your documents are going to be wet, So these are some of the challenges, and using a CMMS, right, allows us to go green, all right? And the mobile application of it allows us to also receive up-to-date minute details on the assignment. So whatever you write on the paper, that will not be updated until you go back to the manager or the engineer's level to look at it, and then have to transfer whatever you've written down into the software or your spreadsheet. But in this case, by using a CMMS, using the mobile app version, whatever you key in, even though when there's no internet connection, once you bring it back to a place where there's internet connection, it automatically updates into your CMMS system. All right, so technicians will not have to be desk bound into a specific desktop, right? They can be roaming around, right? They can have the capability to be fully mobile, where they can update and monitor the data of the equipments on the go. So this will very much conclude, right, the 10 points or the 10 ways of how a CMMS drives operational excellence within your organization. And we move on to the next portion before the quiz on some case study to show you some success cases of customers. So why CMMS? Well, firstly, you can see that it saves money, it reduces the downtime, increase your work completion, reduction of data entry, reduction of corrective maintenance. You save money from the spare parts. There's an improvement in terms of your utilization of workers. You can see that time used to save from reports, right, is also greatly reduced. 95% of the available work time is recorded and tracked. And also, importantly, you can improve your customer satisfaction through the transparency work that you have. Some of the customers that have benefited from us, right? So firstly, we have Pratt & Whitney. This is a worldwide leader in terms of design and manufacturing and services of aircraft engines, right? So if you have taken the airplane recently after COVID, then you might be sitting on one of the planes, right, that is serviced, right, or designed by Pratt & Whitney. So what is the challenge that they face is they had difficulty predicting failures related to their motor, right? They wanted to do more of predictive maintenance, so they did condition monitoring, and they needed something scalable, right? Because they are a big multinational company. So they started from a site, and then they looked into implementing our hardware sensors solution together with the CMMS portion, right? So you can see Bruce over here say that we just had a major win that saved operation from a critical asset failure, right? So the condition from the data captured, right, vibration and heat, indicating that it was at its beginning stages of the breakdown. So rather than waiting for it to reach the final point, which is high temperature rise, if you're having a machine with a temperature of 70 or 80 degrees Celsius, that is already a little bit too late for you to do anything on the machineries. A lot of parts will have been already affected, from the high heat itself. So at the onset of increasing, when something is already increasing from 40 to 45, for example, that moment, right, prompted the maintenance team to look deeper, and they managed to find the root cause, which usually they can't because they didn't have the condition monitoring data, right? So this is one example. And the next example that I gave is Cintas, right? They are a service provider on businesses on all types of machineries and services. So they use eMaint, they rolled it out over to 200 plus production facilities. And having that much production facilities, one of the things that they will face is building up a database, right? So through our services, through our software, they were able to build up a very strong and big database that allowed them to have transparency, standardized procedures, forming baseline for tracking maintenance and reliability. And they were able, for example, to achieve, right, awards. And also importantly over here, they were able to increase the net return, right, on the net asset by 50%, right? So eMaint provided transparency, consistency, and customization at a low total cost of ownership. Total cost of ownership is low because of the SaaS application, while supporting Cintas multi-location needs, right? So with that, I have come to the end of my sharing session, all right? And we're gonna move on quickly to a time of Q&A, right? Questions and answer. So Wins, if you can help me, I think, is there any questions that was happening in the chat that you can read out to me?
Well, there are some direct messages that we have received. And one of them, if you would like to answer this one, there's one question that asks, do I need to have strong IT background to navigate eMaint CMMS?
All right, so to answer that, if you can use Facebook, if you can use LinkedIn, then definitely you can use a CMMS as well, right? So the interface of a CMMS is very user-friendly. It is highly intuitive, right? So no worries about that. When you are implementing the CMMS, we will be providing you that training, that hands-on experience as well to guide you through. And we also have an online training platform, like we call it the eMaint University. They will guide you through step-by-step in using and understanding how the software works. So very easy. You do not need to have the IT knowledge. The only IT knowledge that you need is if you were to develop a new CMMS from scratch, from using code, then maybe, yes, you will need to have some IT knowledge. Yeah.
Thank you, John. I think that also answers the other question that we have received, which says, do we have what is this? Implementation and continued support. So you just mentioned that because it's highly intuitive, and in the process, we also have support training, preparing the customer in before they go live, right?
That's right. So implementation is part of the process on the service that we provide. We are not going to just tell you something and ask you to figure it out yourself. During the implementation, we will actually guide you. We will go through with you what are some of the important things that we need to do. So for example, step number one is always building up the asset database, because without the asset database, there's nothing else to do. There's nothing, for you to maintain, right? Or to issue a work order based on nothing if you have no assets. So all this will be advised and be brought through to you by our implementation service specialists during the initial phase. And even after you implement it and go live, if you have any questions that you might have, we also have the support team that can help you to answer and provide the remote support required.
Perfect. So why don't we ask from our participants if there are any questions? So there is one from Michael. Michael Kawilan says, we have existing system for PR, request slip, spare parts. Can this program integrate into our system?
Yeah, so when it comes to software integration and communication, one of the most common protocol is APIs. So if the software is using RESTful API as a protocol to communicate, then I would say that definitely you will have the capability to integrate together with eMaint CMMS. What this means is in your software, right, they are managing the spare parts itself. So we can mirror like a database similar to what you have in your third-party software in eMaint, so that whenever there's changes made on one side of the software, it gets automatically updated or mirror the data over to the eMaint instance, so that you can use eMaint for the work orders, etc., and while still maintaining your third-party software as well. Yeah.
Right. So does that mean to say, John, this can link to their ERP and kind of automatically updates their inventory system without actually, messing up with that ERP system?
Yes, that's correct. Yeah, we have the capability to link up with ERP system such as Oracle, SAP, and even IBM as well.
Nice. So there's another question right here. The demo shows up to the equipment hierarchy. Can the CMMS have the capability to break them further into components and spare parts? They shall be aligned with the warehouse inventory. Because I remember, John, in my previous trainings, they said, like, you go to a certain level of breaking down your asset hierarchy to what, 7 levels. So could this be what Lito is referring to?
Yeah. So hierarchy definition is definitely something that's possible. So can the CMMS has a capability to break down further into components and spare parts? The answer is yes. Yeah, you can break the asset level into components and spare parts. So you have a parent and child relationship in relation to your machineries. So that is something that's possible for sure. And then Ralph have a question as well. May I know if the sample earlier regarding the balancing for an equipment was received directly once the issue is read on the vibration analyzer, or was it filed on the CMMS as notification? Wow. Okay. So for this example, the example that I showed earlier, right? The notification was done by a prompting given by a plant operator, right? Who raised for a work request, for example. If you want the work order to be automatically filing for an unbalanced issue, right? That is also possible, but then you will need a different set of equipments. So in this case, for example, is either the inputting of the data is done manually or it is done automatically if you have a permanent sensor, right? Or a permanent equipment like your PLCs, for example, or any sensors that is supporting automation protocols such as Modbus TCP or OPC UA. And all this data can then be linked up to the CMMS or eMaint system to automatically generate work order related to specific issues such as unbalance. Yeah.
Great. Thank you, John. There's another question from Ahmad. For mobile applications, will the database be downloaded to the memory of the phone, or will it have to be synced with the cloud? If you have no signal at site, but you need to fill up the job task according to the work order in eMaint. Will I still be able to see the job tasks?
Very good question. The offline feature works because the phone will make a copy of the database, right, from the eMaint system itself. But knowing that it's a mobile phone and knowing that it's a mobile app, we will not display all the data by default. So therefore, when we are building or configuring the mobile app functionality, we will need to define what are the specific information that we want to display on the mobile phone, so that when it's copying the database, it will not be taking out a lot of resources in that case. So yes, a copy of the specific fields on the CMMS is being copied to the mobile phone, so that when you're making changes to it, even in the offline mode, right, it is still able to track and then later sync up to the database once internet connection is being established. Sorry, Wins, you're muted.
Sorry. So can we
No worries.
can we save photos for the work orders? It says, Alan asks.
Yes, 100% you can. You can use your phone to take a photo as well on site, and then attach it to a work order and send it to the CMMS.
And I can see as well that this can also be for technical service companies where they deploy their maintenance staff to different facilities, and they can be very mobile and can easily update the records to the main office or the head office, right?
Yeah, that's correct.
Right. And there is another question over Viber asking, how long is the preparation for acquiring CMMS?
Preparation for acquiring a CMMS. So when it comes to, from the point of discussion to implementation, there's a lot of things, right, that we need to go through. So it really depends on the company's internal process. Some of the key milestones that we need to clear, firstly, of course, is commercial, right? The company needs to have the right budget for the right software. Secondly is IT security. So usually your IT manager or IT director needs to have a good understanding on the service that we are providing. And we are specialists in that. We work on very frequently basis with the IT managers and IT team to prove that our software is indeed safe for all the organizations out there. And then some other things required is development of the user requirement specifications. So whatever that you need as a maintenance team, you usually write down in the document. And then for our side, we will show you, hey, based on our software design and capabilities, we are able to meet all these specifications. And once all of this is done, your purchaser register us as a vendor, you settle the master service agreement, etc. Right? On the signing, we will then begin the implementation process. So in the market, depending on the scale of your implementation, right, it can take as long as 1.5 years. That's 18 months, right? But if you're in a mid-sized company, so when I say mid-sized company, for example, you have a company operation of 1,500 assets, right? And then if you have about 20 over users, in this case, in the market, generally, it takes 3 to 6 months. In general, it takes 3 to 6 months of implementation. But for Fluke eMaint, this is something that we are very extremely proud of, right? We will only take 2 to 3 months instead of 3 to 6 months, right? So I hope that gives you a rough picture on what to expect in terms of timeline to implement a CMMS.
Thank you, John. This just came in. Is there a limit on the number of assets that need to be enrolled?
Okay, so there's no limit. If you have one asset and if you want to use CMMS, I'll be happy to sell to you, but usually not, right? It really depends on the criticality of it. So we do have customers who, for example, have just 50 assets, and yet they use the CMMS because every single asset is important to them, and they need to track. They need to have information on the work order history, the condition monitoring data, the spare parts, etc. Right? So different CMMS company have different philosophy. some of them will charge you based on assets. So the more assets that you have within your organization, then the cost of your CMMS is going to be more. But for Fluke CMMS, which is eMaint, we are charging based on users. So there is a possibility, for you to have 5 users, and then you have 3,000 assets, right? We are just going to charge you based on users instead of asset. So that's the philosophy that we have from our side.
Thank you. There's another one. And how long will it take to migrate from other CMMS to eMaint, say from Oracle JDE? Is there any experience on this?
Yep, of course, we have experience on helping you to migrate data coming from other CMMS to eMaint. So the main means and method that we're going to use is through CSV export. So if you are familiar with CSV file format, that is layman term, we are using Excel sheets, right? So if the software that you're using has the capability to export all your data into Excel sheet, right? We have a template of our own Excel sheet that we will require your site, right, to map over to our site. So as much as possible, our team will build our template as closely as possible to your Excel sheet format. But we know that that is often not 100% compatible. And that is why during the implementation period, these are some of the things that we need to troubleshoot together, that we need to journey together to find the best way possible on how we can do a migration of the data. So if, an ideal situation in terms of migration, if I can make you simply select all the cell, copy, and then paste onto our template to do the migration, right? That will be perfect. That you don't need to do any manual entry at all. You just copy and paste, the migration is done, right? But that is the ideal case. But more often or not, we do know that there are certain limitations, right? And that we need to address. So that will be addressed during the implementation period.
Thank you, John. And I think that also partially answers the question that just came in, the pricing model. So you mentioned about subscription. So it's on a per user subscription base, is it?
Yeah, that's correct. It's user-based subscription.
And the subscription would mean like for a number of years, or is there a lock-in period?
So the minimum period of using eMaint is 1 year. It's a yearly subscription. So at the end of the year, 1 year, you feel like this is not working for you, then you can just stop it. There's no obligation to continue further.
Perfect. All right. So I think that's all the questions that we have so far, but that doesn't stop us from answering any of your further questions. You can see on the screen our email. So John's email is john.tan@fluke.com. Mine is edb@erudite.com.ph. We would be happy to schedule a more detailed presentation and understand where you are right now in the market in terms if you're looking for a CMMS solution. We'd be happy to support and understand how we can be of service. So, John, why don't we go ahead with our raffle?
No, quiz first.
Quiz. Yeah, that's right.
Yes,
we have a quiz.
We're going to do the quiz first.
We still have a quiz. So let's see.
All right.
Get ready with your keyboards and on the chat button.
Everybody stretch your fingers. This is the time for quiz, all right? So we're going to have 5 quiz. So 5 quiz means 5 winners. The winners will be winning yourself with a polo tee or Under Armour t-shirt merchandise, all right? So 1 winner, 1 shirt, t-shirt or polo tee. And the winner will only be the one that gives the correct answer fastest in the chat, all right? And here is something very important that I need to share with everybody, right? This happened before in some of the quizzes that I have organized, okay? So even though you key in the answer on your own screen, you saw that you key in faster, all right? Doesn't mean that you are the fastest. The reason is because when you key in on your computer screen, it usually happens, pops up faster, right? And it will show at the top. Whether or not it's fastest or not, right? It will be determined on how it looks on our screen, the screen of other people, other than your own, right? So there can be a case that we announce a winner, which everybody knows that the person is the winner, but for you personally, when you see, it shows that you put in first, right? That is considered, I would say, it's like a bug, right? Or a limitation, in terms of this. So just take note, right? We will be the one assessing the winner, right? You should be very obvious to everybody, right, on the answers. So if you are there for the trial, you have the advantage, right? You know how it takes and how it works, right? So for those who don't have the trial, don't worry. It's a multiple choice question. Just, key in the correct answer, type it into the chat. The fastest one with the correct answer will be the winner. And right now, we're going to go for question number 1. What does CMMS stands for? Very easy question. 3, 2, 1, let's go. Which option is the correct description of what CMMS stands for? Well, you guys very fast, huh? Wow.
Yeah, they're very fast.
Wow. And Patricia says, question 1, please answer below. Okay, Jefferson is unmute now. He's too excited, I guess. Okay, so Patricia or Wins, who do you see as the first person with the correct answer?
Okay, this is a bit tricky though. Manuel and Neil, before you flash the options, already type in the full meaning of CMMS, while Giancarlo typed in the letter, which is A. So based on our rule, it would be Giancarlo on this one.
Okay, Giancarlo, right? I see Giancarlo as well as faster. Ralph was almost there. Yeah, but I think Giancarlo is the winner. Congratulations, Giancarlo. All right.
Congratulations, Gian.
Yes. So don't give up. Yeah. So Vian, you have already won one shirt. I'm sorry to say that the rest of the question, you will not be allowed to win.
Right.
Even though you might get the correct answer. All right.
So Vian, you will receive a message, direct message from us on how we will coordinate with him on this prize.
That's right. That's right. Congratulations, Vian. We're now going to move on to question 2. All right, everybody get ready. I'm going to put my eyes on the screen. Okay, so the next question is this. What is the most common driver for implementing a CMMS solution? And the options are A, regulatory compliances, B, streamline automate workflow, C, capture maintenance costs, or D, increase overall efficiency. Right, I see many answers, some A, some B, some D, some C.
Right, a lot of different answers.
Yeah, so what is the correct answer? Well, the answer is D. Okay, increase overall efficiency is the most common driver for implementing a CMMS solution. So who do you see as the winner over there? Wins from the screen.
The winner is Pauline Bianca Alfonso. She's the second one to type in, and that's the correct one. Thank you. Congratulations,
Congratulations, Pauline. I see Ralph having the first answer, but it's not correct. So once again, Ralph is very close. I can see Ralph really, really wants the prize. Good job there. All right. So anyone else who wants to compete with Ralph, right? You have to be faster. He seems like he's really on the alert, yeah, wanting to win the prize. So, yep, we will be noting down your particulars and getting in touch with you, Pauline, on how to ship the prize over to you, right? Okay, let's move on. 3 more prizes to be won. Everybody get ready. Question number 3. What of the following generates the most cost saving from using a CMMS? And here are the options. Is it A, reduce time spent building a report? B, maximize labor resources through better scheduling? C, reduce unplanned downtime events? Or is it D, reduce time spent in locating spare parts? Wow, lots of answer. I see a C, I see a B.
Lots of different answers here.
Yeah, so the correct answer here is C. Reduce unplanned downtime events.
Great.
So if you remember the ROI report that I shared, right? C is the one that generates the most cost saving. So wins. Who's going to be the winner?
Congratulations to Glenn Ray Guevara. He's the first one and he got the correct answer.
Wow. Congratulations, Glenn Ray, for winning our third prize.
Congratulations, Glenn Ray.
Yes. Jason was close behind, but he got the wrong answer. But Ralph, once again, is the second one for the correct answer. He's getting closer, guys. He's getting closer. He needs all the energy, but he's consistently very fast and one of the first few answers. So Let's see if Ralph indeed will win the prize for the
Maybe
next
on the
question
next
again.
one.
Yes, come on, everybody. Go for it. All right. So last two prizes to be won. Question number 4. This is the question. All right. You can save the environment by using CMMS, and here are the options. Is it true or false? Can you save the environment by using CMMS? All right, answers are streaming in pretty fast. Oh man, let's answer 4. Hey, Pauline, cannot answer already lah.
Yeah, sorry, Pauline, you were fast, but you already won.
Yeah,
So
Pauline, you're fast, but
this
it's okay.
time we'll give it to Manuel and Mil.
That's right. Manuel, is that
Manuel
IV,
and
right?
Mil,
Or
the
4th?
fourth. The fourth.
Yeah, the 4th.
Yeah.
Manuel the 4th, right? Yeah.
Right.
Okay. Congratulations.
Congratulations. And Manuel, you won
Manuel is
this
the
round.
4th.
Yeah. He was the person who spelled out the CMMS.
Ah, okay. So now he
Yes.
learns the trick, right? Now he learns the rule to just put in the letter, right? So congratulations to you.
Congratulations.
Yeah, and I see that Ralph is like, officially should be second as well, if we exclude Pauline on the right answer. So it's really close. Yeah, it's the last question already. I really hope Ralph wins it somehow, for all his participation and effort for that. So we're going to go on to the last question, right? On the last prize to be won. And here is the question. Which of the following cannot be automated through CMMS, all right? So here are the options.
Not yet.
Not yet. Okay, let's go. Which are the options? Is it email alert, creation of PM, technicians using CMMS, or workflows? And as you can see, I made a mistake on my labeling, right? I changed it to numbers. So anyone who answered 3 or C first will get that, will be correct. I'm so sorry for causing the confusion. So who do you see has the correct answer from your side wins?
So you're the correct answer for you here. And what's the correct answer for you?
Oh, I forgot to tell an answer. Okay, the correct answer is automation. Can use email to automate it. Creation of PM as well. Workflows can all be automatically created or automated through CMMS. The one that you cannot automate is 3 or C, right? In this case, getting the technician to use the CMMS, okay? You cannot control or automate the human to use it, right? They have to be trained, they have to be convinced, they have to take it as part of the job to use the CMMS, right?
And the winner for this is Ahmad Manalao. Congratulations, Ahmad.
Wait. Hold on. I don't know. Who do you see is the winner again? Because I see differently.
So the answer is number 3 or C, right?
Yeah,
the first
correct.
one who came in number 3 is Ahmad, based on the chat.
Sir, on my screen, it's Sir John Paul Bautista.
Yeah, so I see John Paul as well.
Oh, okay. Well, it seems I have a different.
Maybe do you scroll correctly?
I did. Okay. Well, sending you a screenshot over WhatsApp. Let's see.
Perhaps Sir Ahmad sent through a private chat.
Oh no, maybe he sent by private chat.
Oh, did you?
I don't know, but I do see that John Paul Bautista.
Yes, actually, that's the reason. Ahmad, you send out a direct message to me.
Oh,
number 3, that's why you're the first one I see it.
Oh,
but John Paul Bautista came in second.
Yeah.
Which is sent to everyone.
That's right. So John Paul used the correct channel, right? Which is sent to all. And therefore,
John
the
Paul
correct winner should be John Paul.
Yes.
Yeah, so sorry, Ahmad. Yeah, you didn't comply to the rules, right? So John Paul will be our 5th winner. And that's the end of the quiz that I have. All the winners, your names has been noted down, all right? And our friendly staff from Erudite will be contacting you to get your address and your shirt size and shirt type, and the prizes will be delivered to you. So with that, I've come to the end of my session. I just want to thank all the participants for joining this webinar, right? For those who won the prize, congratulations. For those who didn't, and especially for Ralph, right? Having that level of participations, I really appreciate. And I wish you guys all the best and have a good day. I would like to pass the time now to Patricia, who will be bringing you through the next segment. Thank you very much, everybody.
Yes. Thank you,
Thank you,
sir.
John. Can we invite everyone to give a virtual round of applause to John for taking his time to share his knowledge about how CMMS drives operational excellence? Thank you very much, John, for your time.
Thank you
I
very much,
also,
everybody.
right, I also would like to inform everyone that we have put on the chat a link of a survey about how, what are the CMMS buyer software requirements that you're looking for. So please, if you have time, please take time to answer this short survey, as well as I'll be sharing onto the screen a post-evaluation on this webinar. Okay, there we go. All right. So this time, I know Patricia have prepared something for everyone. At least this time, John, it will be based on luck, not on how fast you are in the trigger. So let's hear it from Patricia or Mary Joy.
Yes, this time, Sir Ralph still has a chance. Um, we have a special raffle giveaway. All the attendees today is put on a wheel, and we're going to spin it. We're giving away 5 prizes. So if we call your name, right away comment that you're here. If not, 5 second rule. If not, we will spin for another one. All right. So again, we will only draw 5 names. Yeah. Yeah. Sir Ralph, you still got chance to win. Right. So Miss Joy, can we see the wheel? If we call your name, say present or I'm here. So I'll record your name. If not, I'll give you 5 seconds to do so. If not, we will draw another name. All right? Sounds good? Okay. Miss Joy, please start with the wheel. Okay, so our first giveaway winner, our first raffle winner is Sir John Paulo Romero. So, Sir John, are you here? Sir John Paulo? 5, 4, 3, 2, 2.5, 1. Okay, so Sir John Paulo is not here. Let's get another name. Right, this is Sir Tiopan. Tiopan, are you here? Please comment on the chat section. 5, 4, 3. Okay, present. So our first prize goes to Sir Lanmer, Miss Lanmer Tiopan. Next name. Okay, Sir John Paul Bautista. Is it Sir John Paul? Sir John Paul, okay, present. Okay, moving on. Our third raffle winner is Sir Ray Serrana. Okay, are you here? 5, 4, 3, 2, 2.5, 1. Okay, so let's spin for Sir Ralph Garcia.
Sorry, Sir Ralph,
to
we can't do that.
represent him. Okay, so our third winner is Sir Jefferson Carl Gonzalez. Sir Jefferson, are you here? Sir Jefferson in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. No? Absent. Right. We still have 3 giveaways. Sir Michael. Okay, right away, Sir Michael. Sir Michael says present right away. Okay, so congratulations, sir. To our fourth winner, please spin the wheel. Right. So it is Sir Glenn Ray Guevara. Sir Glenn Ray. Right then. All right. So down to our last giveaway. And it is Miss Pauline Bianca Alfonso is present. Okay, congratulations everyone. Um, Congratulations for the raffle giveaway, Miss Lanmer Tayopan, John Paul Bautista, Michael Cawilan, Glenn Ray Guevara, and Pauline. Sorry, who was that? Sorry.
Miss
Miss
Pauline Alfonso.
Pauline Alfonso. And for our quiz winners, congratulations also Vian Carlo Francia, Pauline Bianca, Glenn Ray Guevara, Manuel Emil IV, John Paul Bautista. You will be receiving an email from me.
Yes, where you will need
Congratulations
to
once again.
respond, where we will be sending out your prizes.
Sir Vince, I think you're still on mute.
Am I? All right, can you hear me now? All right, great. So thank you very much. I think we've come to the end. Everybody, thank you so much for your time. John, thank you very much. And if there's anything that we can do to support you on your journey towards your operational excellence through solutions such as CMMS, please come forward and let us know. You can send us an email through the email that we have shown a while ago. And please do take care. And we hope to be of service to you in the future. Thank you, everyone, and have a great day.
Thank you, guys. Have a great day. Goodbye.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Bye.
Thank you, Sir John.
Bro, where's
Thank
my
you.
prize? You
Thank you.
can email me directly.
Sure. Thank you,
You're
And
everyone.
welcome,
thank you
guys.
very much.
Thank you,
I'll be
sir.
waiting for the shirt. Thank you.
Reach out to us, Ralph. John, reach out to us. We'll see what we can do.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All my shirts are wet.
If they don't have the shirt, then better don't switch on the webcam. Yeah.
Yeah.
Bye, guys. Thank you for joining
Bye,
us
John.
today.
Thank you. We'll go
Bye,
debate
guys.
in a while when we do have the